Have you ever given AI a full backstory, your whole situation, 5 paragraphs of details, and somehow the output answer got worse? That's one of the most frustrating beginner AI mistakes because it feels logical. We think more context should mean better results, but sometimes more context gives the AI more chances to get distracted, to misunderstand what matters, or to drag old details into a new task. So in this video, I'm going to fix your context issues with a simple before and after prompt makeover. You'll see how a vague prompt creates a generic answer, and then how the right amount of context creates a response you can actually use. By the end of this video, you'll know which context matters, how long your context background message should be, and when to upload files for context, how to prompt in steps, also known as iterative prompting, and how to avoid something called context rot, which is when your AI prompt gets longer and the output you get from AI gets worse. I'm DK, your AI bestie, and if you like helpful beginner AI tips around giving AI the right context background, please hit like, subscribe, and click the notifications bell to all. So if the issue is too little context, that's an easy fix. But sometimes the issue isn't too little context or too much context. The issue sometimes is that our context is unorganized. So AI doesn't need your whole life story. It needs the right facts to help it make the right next decision. Here's a simple diagnosis. If your output is generic, confused, too long, or keeps using details you already corrected, you probably have a context problem. Jot this down. Good context is not about length. Good context is about relevance. That means a short prompt can fail if it leaves out the important details. But a long prompt can also fail if it includes 20 details that don't matter to your end goal. So let me know down in the comments, are you more likely to under-explain or over-explain when you prompt AI? Drop the word under or the word over down in the comments. Now let's make this easy. When you're not sure how much context to give, use the clear context filter. C stands for concrete goal. What do you ultimately want the AI to do? Do you want it to reply to something, summarize something, rewrite something, plan, compare, extract, explain, or create? L stands for limits. What rules, constraints, tone, privacy boundaries, budget, time limit, or word count should AI follow? E stands for evidence. Which source material does the AI need? Depending on your end goals, that may be a customer message, meeting notes, rough draft, an outline, screenshot text, policy, recipe, or an uploaded file. A stands for audience. Who is this ultimately for? Is it a confused customer, a beginner gardener, a real estate client, a parent, a retiree, a potential consulting client, or a team member? And finally, R. R is for result format. What should the ultimate end answer look like? Should it be an email, a bulleted list, a table, a checklist, a caption, script, short text, or a step-by-step plan? So now let's do the prompt makeover. We're going to use a business example, but this lesson works for a personal task also. So here's our before version. Notice that it's not terrible, but it forces AI to guess too much. Write a reply to this customer complaint. The customer stated, "I'm disappointed. This was confusing and I felt like I wasted money." So with this before information, let's see the type of sample output we'd probably get. The output would be, "Dear customer, we apologize for your disappointment. We value your feedback and are sorry that your experience did not meet your expectations. Please contact our support team so we can assist you further. Sincerely, customer support." That answer is polite, but it sounds like every robotic customer service template on the internet. Why? Because AI had to guess almost everything. The AI had to guess the product or service you're selling, had to guess your tone, your policy, the next step, and it had to guess the relationship you want to protect. Now, here's an after version of that prompt to fix our response to the customer. Act as a calm, human sounding customer support assistant for a small business owner. Our concrete goal is to write a reply to a disappointed customer and try to repair trust. Our limits are to keep it under 150 words, do not sound offensive, do not promise a refund automatically. Our evidence is the customer said, "I'm disappointed. This was confusing and I feel like I wasted my money." They bought a $47 digital beginner guide and are struggling with the first worksheet. Our audience here is a frustrated beginner who may feel embarrassed asking for help. And our result format is to write the email reply only with a warm subject line and a clear next step. And bonus points if you add a line or two when we talked about making it sound human, where you show an example of what human sounds like specifically for you. Here's the improved output we would expect after we use our improved prompt. The subject of this email is, "Let us make this easier. I'm sorry the first worksheet felt confusing." That is frustrating, especially when you bought the guide because you wanted something beginner friendly. Before we talk about next steps, I would like to help you get unstuck. If you reply with the part of the worksheet that confused you the most, I can point you to the exact section to start with and explain it in plain language. If it still doesn't feel helpful after that, we can look at the best way to make this right. Thank you for telling me instead of just walking away. I appreciate the chance to help. Do you see the difference in the two responses? The improved prompt did not include more context just for the sake of more context. It included more context that was the right context. It had the goal, the limits, the evidence, the audience, and the result format. We used our clear framework, and that's why the response sounds so much more human. Because of the clear framework, the AI finally knows what kind of help to give, what not to promise, and how the customer might be feeling. Now, let us answer the question everyone wants answered. How long should your context be? Use this rule of thumb, but don't treat it like a law. For a simple task, give 2 to 4 context bullets. For something that's more of a medium task, give it 5 to 7 context bullets. And for something complex, let's be honest, you might need 3 or 4 paragraphs, but you may be able to just use a short brief or upload the source material and tell AI exactly what to do with your source material. Again, you should only need longer context for something complex. So you're saying, DK, what's a simple task versus a medium or a complex task? So an example of a simple task would be, rewrite this text so it sounds warmer. You may only need the tone, audience, and the length. An example of a medium task would be, improve my blog outline. Now AI needs the topic, audience, goal, current outline, what you want to avoid, and the desired structure. Conversely, a complex task may be, turn these meeting notes into action items. AI needs the notes, the people involved, the deadline rules, and the output format. Because if they're action items, you probably have a certain deadline for those items. And if the notes are long, you can upload or paste the notes, but you don't want to add 5 extra stories around them. Here's a line I want you to remember. Give the AI enough context to make the next decision, not enough context to relive the entire project. As I mentioned, you can upload the actual files as context. So when do uploads help and when do they hurt the output? File uploads are going to be helpful when the exact source material matters. For example, if you want to upload a resume, if you want a resume summary or a resume rewrite. Uploads are also good for a meeting transcript if you want action items, a rough blog draft if you want an outline improvement, or a school announcement if you want a parent-friendly checklist. But here's a mistake some people make. They upload a file and they say to the AI, "What do you think?" That's too vague. The AI needs instructions for the file, or it may summarize the wrong thing, focus on the least useful section, or give you a mountain of information that you did not ask for. Also, be careful with private information. Before uploading anything sensitive, remove details like social security numbers, full addresses, account numbers, medical IDs, or anything that you wouldn't want floating around in a software tool. So here's a prompt you can use with your uploaded and attached documents. The portion in brackets will vary based on your end goal. The exact file upload instruction prompt. Use the uploaded file only for this task and describe the task. Focus on and list the sections, dates, names, or topics that matter. Ignore, list what the AI should not analyze. Extract, list the summary, action items, risks, questions, quotes, or next steps. Format the answer as a table, a checklist, an email, a bullet list, or a plain language summary. And before answering, tell me if the file does not include enough information. Now that we have our upload prompt, let's talk about context rot in plain English. Context rot is what can happen when the AI chat gets so long, messy, or overloaded that the model starts performing worse. The information may still be technically in the chat, but the AI may pull the wrong detail, ignore a newer instruction, over-focus on an old correction, or blend things together that should stay separate. Think of context rot as cooking with a cluttered kitchen counter. If every ingredient, receipt, grocery bag, and old coffee cup is on the counter, the chef might still be talented, but the workspace is messy. Some symptoms of context rot that you can easily spot are AI that repeats old mistakes, when it brings back details you've removed, when the AI forgets your newest instruction, it gives a strangely generic answer, or it starts acting like a different task is still the main task. And if you're already in the middle of a conversation with AI and you suspect that context rot has occurred, sometimes the cure is a context reset. We can reset our context with 2 steps. First, let's get a summary of where we are in the conversation. Our exact context refresh prompt is, before we continue, summarize only the details that still matter for this task. Separate them into goal, audience, must keep, can ignore, and the next step. Do not add new details yet. And for part 2 of our context reset, let's use that newly generated summary we got from step 1 as our new context in the conversation. Then we'll copy that clean summary into a new chat, and then let's use this prompt. This is our exact new chat reset prompt. Use the summary below as the only context for this task. Ignore any assumptions from earlier chats. First, confirm what you understand. Then complete the task and paste your clean summary there. So this is our 2-step AI cure. Refresh the context, cut the clutter, and restart when the chat gets muddy. So we've been talking about different ways to manage context in this video. And our final context management skill that we'll learn today is iterative prompting. Iterative prompting just means that you do not have to give AI every detail in the first message. This makes the AI work through the answer step by step to get you a more well thought out result. In iterative prompting, instead of submitting one big prompt, You use a series of prompts to hold an actual conversation with the AI. And as your conversation progresses, the AI's output improves as you gradually add context, clarify your limits, and analyze for any missing information. Iterative prompting can be done in a variety of ways, but the quickest way to kick it off is to make the AI create questions. And once you answer the questions from the Context Scout prompt, then give the AI any missing details in round two of your conversation. That's faster and more efficient than writing a novel's worth of context in round one and hoping the AI knows which part of your novel to zero in on. And I'll tell you this, the more you use AI, the more you'll see patterns. And once you see patterns, you want to save your work so you can save time. And the place to save your work is on a prompt library. So you're saying, DK, how do I build a prompt library? Great news. You don't have to build it because I've already built it for you. Grab your free prompt library linked below. Not only does it have areas to copy and paste prompts that worked well for you, but it also comes preloaded with prompts that have worked for me. The prompt library is in my free AI Prompt Boss School community, and I'll see you there. Happy prompting, bestie, and I'll see you next time.